So the aim of our project is to analyze how do YouTubers make sense of the environmental problems. And the particular objective is to see what is the story that they tell about it. So what we did is to carry out a YouTube search, and we looked for words that some organizations say that they are like main threats to the environment. So let's say climate change, deforestation, soil erosion, dead zones. And we looked for words that are related to those subjects. There was a list of the main YouTubers, French and Mexican YouTubers, that are the most popular. And they usually talk about other subjects, such as fashion, sensationalist subjects. And from time to time, they also talk about the environment, environmental problems in particular. So in this change, we looked for them and selected those videos that talked about environmental problems. But for the other type of channels, which are normally like more specialized on environment or maybe on social issues, we did this YouTube word search. So in the end, we had 80 videos, which were half Mexican and half French. Why did we do this comparison? Because we wanted to do a comparative study to see if there was like an evidence of a global discourse. So we chose France and Mexico, which are countries that are very different in several ways. And what we did was to base our study on the attentional model of Freymas, which is a French-Lithuanian structuralist, as well as the Freytag's pyramid, which is a model by Gustav Freytag, a German writer. And in the end, we had a diagram in which there was like the cause of the problem. I mean, who is responsible for the problem? What is the problem itself? We represented it like a chain of events. Say, deforestation causes soil erosion, which causes water pollution. This is itself the problem. Then who is in charge of solving the problem? Then what is the actions that he's undertaking to solve the problems? Who benefits from these actions? For instance, the environment itself or the planet. And who opposes the actions of these persons that are trying to solve the problem, and who assists the person trying to solve the problem. The story that was being told, what we found, was that humanity as a whole is responsible for causing the problem. The problems are of a collective kind, let's say air pollution, deforestation, water extraction. Then humanity, again, as a whole, is responsible for resolving the problem, and the actions that it has to take are individual. So let's say use a bamboo toothbrush or drive a bike instead of a car. The beneficiary of the actions is the planet or the environment. The assistant of this process are mainly scientists, which was surprising for us, and sometimes enterprises, like ecological enterprises. While the opponent, that was interesting also, is a government. So the government is the one that is always like trying to put some obstacles for the resolution, and particularly for the Mexican YouTubers. In the case of French, it was also the government, but also a lot of corporations, like these big industries. So we believe that what is important is that we found also the environment is seen like something that is external to human beings. We are not immersed in the environment, but it's something apart from us. So people say things like, let's help the environment, like if it was external to us. Another finding that we think it's important is that no one or very few of the YouTubers question the economic system as a cause of all these environmental problems or the ways that society is organized. So only 2 or 3 YouTubers mentioned this as a real cause behind everything. And also we feel that is a really shallow understanding of environmental problems. And this is what is being transmitted to society. So we believe that there is like a need for a stronger link between science and society, because we are proposing solutions that are not really going to help the problems. That's what we feel. And another finding is that there seems to be like a global discourse, at least between these 2 countries. This story that is being told is very similar between both of them. And the only difference that we really found was that French YouTubers tend to give a more complicated explanation of the problems and of the solutions. And we believe that maybe it's because there are many more channels that are specialized of these problems. So maybe that's why they have to really go more in depth in their explanations. That might be an explanation. What we found is the discourse that is being managed by these YouTubers is more like the one that is called the environmentalist discourse. discourse that is really simple, that has been for decades trying to make citizens feel guilty and responsible for all that's happening, instead of assuming that it has to do also with this economic model. There are many, many scholars that are studying this phenomenon in a more sociological, economical, ecological manner that could be conveyed to society. What is in the deepest part of what we found is that we are like in the edge, and that we have to really make sure that all this information gets to society so that we have deeper discussions about the matter.